from this point on, everything I say and everything that's recorded, that's projected on the screen, is recorded in sync. Okay, after class, I will upload this to YouTube. Now, it usually takes a few hours to do that. So it won't be until tomorrow morning sometime before it'll be up there. And then once it's in YouTube, I'm going to put it on what I call my playlist. My playlist will be linked through Blackboard. So I'll tell you where that'll be in Blackboard. I don't have Blackboard set up yet, and I'll explain that in a few minutes too, but we'll do what we can with it right now. So where we'll get started today then is probably with the syllabus, okay? The syllabus is not up to date yet, okay? Now there's some reasons for this, mostly excuses, but some reasons too. I'm the math department chair. This is the beginning of second mini-term, and we're just ending first mini-term, and several of these folks have been in my first mini-term physical science class. It was a big class, about 23, 25, something like that, in that. So last week was getting in a bunch of late work and labs and people making up tests in the final exam, and we had a field trip, and it was just a madhouse. So I didn't have any time at the end of last week. I was grading papers over the weekend, so I didn't have time to set up this course at all. But I'm also the math department chair, and last week I realized that someone had opened a second mini-term math course that me, okay? And they didn't put an instructor down. I didn't open it. Somebody else did. They just left it as stacked. So it made, and then they did it on 2 classes, and I was frantically trying to, I put one in, but they put the second one in. But we had staff on because they didn't make last year. The one I put in didn't make last year, but this year it did. So I was frantically searching around for someone else to teach those 2 math courses, because all my people are stacked to the hilt with overloads and stuff like this, and my adjuncts are teaching more courses than they're supposed to. So I was until this late morning, early afternoon, figuring out who to teach the 2 o'clock math class. I had to teach the first bit of it, half hour of it or so, but then we did some juggling and got somebody else in there. Still working on getting the other one, the instructors in, is being hired to teach that. So anyway, it's been a madhouse. So I don't have the syllabus set up. I don't have Blackboard set up. I don't have anything set up because I've been going like crazy trying to get all the first mini-term and second mini-term things going. So I'll explain what's going on here. Most of the syllabus is correct, okay? There are some things that are in error, and I'll point those out to you, but most of the rest of it is correct. The important stuff is correct, okay? So let's move from here. It is Physical Science 2, and we'll talk about the book in a minute. 4 credit hour course, 3 theory credit hours, and 1 math lab credit hours, but we have to have 2 hours of lab for that 1 hour of credit, okay? So it's they say 5 contact hours. Not quite. This is a mini-term course, so it's more like 4.5 contact hours every day, 2 days a week. So we'll be in here, basically, ask these other folks, basically pretty close to 2.5 hours every day, right? Okay, I mean 4.5 hours every day. 2.5 hours of class and sort of 2 hours of lab. There are some exceptions for that, and we'll talk about those as we get there. So the class meeting times are wrong. This is what they were last spring. That's when I last used the syllabus. However, now, are any of you automotive students? You are. I thought the 3 of you might be. Are you currently in automotive classes now? So you didn't get out until 3 o'clock, is that right? So you can't start any earlier than 3:15. Right? All right, we'll be meeting at 3:15, folks. Okay. Didn't know because y'all were, they gave us the impression that y'all were going to take it in the spring, not in the fall. So you didn't know that.
Ford and Toyota people, I believe, are taking it in the
spring. Okay. I know Ford always did. I didn't know about Toyota. But you are all the GM students, are you?
Yes, sir. students that haven't took any science at a different college.
Oh, really? Okay. So, well, they gave us the impression that all of them are going to be in the spring. So, GM is still coming in the fall. So, we will be meeting. I'll change this, 3:15. You won't have to rush about missing your class any. We'll be meeting 3:15 until 7:45, okay? Sorry about that. The only way we can get it in and accommodate the automotive students. So, we will be, the class will be basically 3:15 to 5:45, and then the lab 5:45 to 6:45. No, that's not right. 5:45 to 7:45 because of 2-hour lab. Okay? So I'll get those changed. Other than that, this is right. Now, unlike the Physical Science 101, Physical Science 111, where we had most of our labs in here and just every now and then went to a different lab, we're going to have most of our labs elsewhere, and just 1 or 2 labs will be in this room. So I put down here 253, 252, or 259. It just depends on what labs open, and some labs do better in one place and not as well as in another, so that's why we'll have several places where we'll be doing our labs. All right. This part is not quite correct, but I'll get it correct. My name's Charles Fowler, that's right. My office on this campus is A265. Now, where is A265? We're here in 255 right here, this corner classroom. You're going to go out of the door here, hang a left, go down that half flight of stairs, and go almost to the end of the hall. Before you run into the wall at the end of the hall, there's a stairwell on the left. Don't go down that. Just before the stairwell is my office door, 265. Right across from the orientation classroom. Okay? Right between the mechanical room like this and the stairwell. So the last classroom there is 263, and my office is 265. Okay? Now, that's where my office is Monday through Thursday. This is my office phone number, 929-3449. Now, let me tell you something about, I thought it was just my phone, but I called to leave a message when I was trying to find a way to manage to get a math instructor today. I called Dr. Stephen Monty, and on his voicemail, my voicemail is not, or when, well, I answered his phone, the answering machine, or recording, said, my voicemail is not reliable. Okay, I thought it was just me. I don't know if any of our voicemail is reliable, but please don't leave me a message on 3449. I don't know if I'll ever hear it, and you'll think I'm going to hear it. I probably won't, because sometimes I can get them, sometimes I can't. I can't ever guarantee. And I don't know what I'm missing, because I don't hear it. So don't leave me a message. So when you call during my office hours. I'll talk about office hours in a minute. Okay? Here's my email address. Now, I'm way behind on emails right now because I've been going like crazy this last week or so, and I'm way behind on those, but I will try to answer those as I can get caught up. Okay? Now, on Fridays, I'm on the Birmingham West Campus, and there, the office I'm in is B122. Any of you likely to be looking for me on Fridays on Birmingham campus? Not likely, huh? If you are, I can tell you how to get there, where B122 is and that kind of stuff. The phone in that office is 929-6409. Now, for much of last spring, it didn't work, okay? But it's now working, or the last time I was there. I wasn't there last Friday, but the Friday before it was. However, don't leave me a voicemail there. That's not my regular office. The grant coordinator has that as an office Monday through Thursday. I use that room on Friday. So this is her voicemail. If you leave a message there, she'll get it. I won't. Okay? I'll never know you left it. So don't leave me a message there at all. Don't leave me one here. I may not be able to retrieve it, but I definitely won't retrieve one there. Okay? I'll talk about office hours. Again, leave messages call only during office hours. So let me tell you my office hours as they stand right now. Monday is absolutely correct. 8 to 10 in the morning, 3:45 to 6 in the evening. That's it. Okay? On Tuesdays, 8 to 8:30 in the morning. Now this is incorrect. me figure out what they are now. 9:45 until 11:30 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. 9:45 till 11:30, and then 12:45 until 3:15. This class right now. So that's the only change there. This one I'll change to be 9:45 to 11:30, and this will be 12:45 until 3:15. So I've got a fair amount of office hours now on Tuesday, Thursday. I didn't have first mini term. Of course, I'll be here later in the day, but that's all right. Wednesdays, 8 to 12 only. Now, the reason I have office hours on Monday, 3:45 to 6, is because I don't have any class there. But I have a one-day-a-week physics class over on the Birmingham East Campus that basically wipes this time out. I'm there from 4:30 to 6:30, and to drive over there, I have to leave here by 4 o'clock, so that would leave me 15 minutes to get all my stuff together and shut down this class and get over there. So basically, I don't have any afternoon hours there. Thursdays, just like Tuesdays, 9:45 till 11:30 and 12:45 until 3:15. And then on Fridays, 8 to 12, Birmingham West Campus. Okay. Now, so if you do try to call during the new office hours I just put down. I'll get this updated and put it out there on Blackboard as soon as I can. When that'll be, I don't know right now, but as soon as I can. All right. Somewhere here is the course description. And it's not much of a course description. 2 lines. All right. This course provides the non-technical student, don't be offended if it's calling you a non-technical student, that means a non-engineering student, that type of thing, with an introduction to the basic principles of chemistry and physics. Laboratory is required. That's why we have the 2-hour labs every day. Okay, now, we're going to do it in reverse order. We can't change this. This is done by the state. That's why it's so short and they don't say very much. This is a committee of the 2-year college system and the state of Alabama public 4-year college and universities. They get together and say, if we teach this, they give you credit for it. Okay? So, prerequisite, it says as required by program. Basically, if you've had math 098, you're okay. Okay, we're going to do a fair amount of math in here, but it's pretty simple math that you would have covered in 098. Co-requisites, none. The textbook, and these come in various sizes, okay? This is the big book. It's Bill Tillery, 11th edition, okay? Where's the title? Oh, there it is. Physical Science by Bill Tillery, 11th edition. Okay. And it's 2017. What does that mean? Probably has another year or 2 of shelf life, and then they're going to update the edition. They don't make that much changes. There's not that much changes to physical science, but the thing is, the publishers only make money when they sell new books. So they come up with new editions every few years just so they can make the old books obsolete and unable to get. Because when people start selling used books and stuff like that, they don't make any money on it. Am I saying? Yeah, okay. So please bring your textbook, paper, pencil to class every meeting. We will be working problems. This is a physics and chemistry course. We will be working problems, okay? Calculators are permitted, I would even say encouraged in the class, okay, especially on test days. But don't come and expect me to provide you a calculator, because if I do, I probably have to teach you how to use that. Get one that you know how to use and have with you, so you don't have to learn a calculator while you're trying to do your course. Okay. Now this is a section they put in here. We don't have any say-so in it, and we're not allowed to change it. I don't care for it too much. All courses must use Blackboard to gain access to vital course information. Now, courses don't use Blackboard students use Blackboard. So that's one thing that's a little, all courses must use Blackboard. What they're saying, we must use it in all our courses, but the courses don't gain access. I mean, students gain access. Vital course information, such as the syllabus, handouts, PowerPoints, shows, activities, assignments, announcements, and so forth. Okay. I will be putting the syllabus out there. It's not there now. You can look at Blackboard. It's basically an empty shell. I'll try to get it out there as soon as I can. I got to make those few corrections, and we'll do it. Handouts. Most of the time, if I have a handout, I will be handing it out to you. I will not be sending it to Blackboard. Okay? So that's something I do. PowerPoint shows. They're not there yet, but they will be. There's a PowerPoint show for every chapter, and we'll do 6 chapters. And the last course, we did, 9 chapters. These are longer chapters, cover more material. First chapter is sort of short, but all the rest of them are fairly long. Okay? But I'll put those out there in static form, and let's pause and talk about Blackboard for just a moment. When you pull up Blackboard for this course, okay, for this course, the home page has a bunch of blue tabs over here on the left-hand side. Okay, they're split into groups of about 7, 8, 5, various groups here. I think in the very first group, like the third one or something like that, says, goodness gracious, what is the name for that? I think it's something like course information. It may even say syllabus, course information, that kind of stuff. But whatever that first one is, that's where I'll put the syllabus. Okay? The next one under that says, I think it says book information too. The next one says instructor information. That's where I'll put my locator card, and we're going to go over that in a few minutes. Okay, so that'll be there. All right, then go down to the next group of blue tabs. And in the next group, there's one that says something like course information, PPTs, that's PowerPoints, handouts, and more, or something like that. That's where the PowerPoints will be. It's in that second grouping down here. But not just that. I'll also have the research paper instruction. Hey, good news, you got a research paper this time. I knew y'all were looking forward to that. We'll be talking about that in a few minutes. Those instructions will be there. They're not there now. Then all the PowerPoints will be there, and that'll be 6 PowerPoint files. And they'll be in static form. You can look at them before class, once we get them out there, and see what we're going to do, if you want to take notes on them, whatever you want to do with them. But also under that same tab, I think the next thing will be PHS112, Physical Science 112, YouTube videos. Now remember I said I'm recording everything? This is where I put the link to the YouTube videos. It's not there yet, but it will be. So you'll be able to go back and see. Now, once we start talking about physical science, not all this kind of stuff, then you'll be seeing the PowerPoints, but it'll be active. I can write on those PowerPoints. You can see everything that's projected on the screen. Now, you can't see my arm waving. That's not being projected. But everything that I write, I've got a ionizing pen here, and this is a tablet PC, so I can write on it, and you'll be able to, if you can read my writing, read it, okay? But you'll hear me talk about it. So those will be, what I'm getting at, the PowerPoint shows will be there twice. Once in static form, and the other in the YouTube videos. Now, let me explain a little bit about the YouTube videos. When you click on that link, you'll see a whole big list of videos, okay? And they'll be talking about Chapter 1. Well, the first one will be called Syllabus, because that's what we're starting with today. And then there'll be ones on Chapter 1, Chapter 2, Lab 1. There'll be just a variety of things like that on the YouTube videos, okay? Most of those will be from last spring. The ones for this term will be at the bottom, because they always load from the bottom. But I don't wipe out those at the top. You might say, well, why? That's last term. Well, here's why. It's happened more than once for a variety of reasons, either Blackboard goes down, YouTube goes down, or our link to YouTube goes down, the supercomputer in Huntsville goes down, our server goes down, or, this happened once, Screencast-O-Matic, someone forgot to pay them and get the contract renewed, so they cut us off. So on those days, I can't record, and I can't send anything out there. So I'll leave the ones from last year, so that if I ever miss a day, because something screws up, there will be something fairly close to it out there already. So I'll leave those out there, so you'll have a gap down here, but you can pick it up there. And then when we do something down here that I've already covered here, then I'll delete it. So I delete the ones that are unessential, but you have almost the whole course there. It won't fit exactly, but it'll be pretty close. Okay. So PowerPoint shows will be static, but also dynamic in the YouTube videos. Activities. Well, sometimes the school posts activities on Blackboard. Most of the time, I won't. Now, the last class we had tried to have 2 field trips. One of them fell through. The other one we made. So I posted things about those activities. Okay? If needs so, I'll do it. And that also would be in announcements. Assignments. Actually, you can hear the assignments. Notice I said hear the assignments. I don't type them in every day, what the assignments are. But I do, on YouTube videos, tell you what you need to do. Answer these questions, work on this, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, those kinds of things will be out there, but you have to listen to the YouTube videos to get them. All right, I do not like this next sentence. Failure to use Blackboard will severely damage your ability to pass the course. Now, maybe some people use Blackboard that much in their courses. To me, Blackboard is a tool. It's not the instrument of the course. It's just a tool. So, to me, that's overstated big time. If they let me change it, I would say the proper use of Blackboard could greatly enhance your ability to do well in the course. That, to me, is closer to reality. But some people may actually teach the entire course through Blackboard. And if they do, that's fine. That's their choice. I don't. Okay? And then I don't like the next sentence. Students should always check the Blackboard announcement and task pages prior to coming to class. I don't know what the task pages are unless that's where people put assignments out there. Maybe that's good to check. I'm not doing that. But the announcements page, the only reason I can think of saying that is, comma, in case the instructor has canceled class. How many times did I cancel class? None. I try never to cancel a class. In fact, right now I'm supposed to be in a faculty meeting. I emailed the vice president and said, look, first day of my second mini-term class, if we miss this class, it's a week's material gone. He said, teach a class. So I try not to miss a class. Sometimes I just can't get out of it, but this time I couldn't. So and if I do, then I'll put out an announcement. But the thing is, I'm going to have to be awfully sick or awfully injured or something like that. I'll probably go, oh, bring me my computer so I can, I'll let someone know. All right. Let's talk about professional competencies, objectives, and that kind of stuff. Again, they require us to do. All right. The course student learning outcomes. Students will describe the nature of science, identify quantifying properties, use measurement systems, calculate densities, and identify laws, principles, models, and theories. That's chapter 1, okay? If you go to your text, I don't know if many of you have, I was going to say about this. This is the big book, okay? In the bookstore, this company, McGraw-Hill, they will seem always eager to customize text for us. And since not everybody takes both courses, many of you have, okay, but some of you will only take this one course, rather than you having to buy the whole book, you can buy just the portion we're going to use in this course. And that's chapters 1 through 5, 1 through 4, 6, and 8. That's what it is. Okay? And it's go to the big contents, not the brief contents, you'll see objects and properties, quantifying properties, measurement system, blah, blah, blah. That's all chapter 1. Okay? Now, chapter 1, I think I mentioned, a short chapter, has one lab. It's the longest lab we're going to do. They just went overboard with the first lab. Okay? Hopefully we'll get it done in the 2 hours. If not, we'll take some time the next time. Okay? And then we'll have a test on chapter 1. Now, this book comes with a test bank. And the test bank for chapter 1 I found lacking. They really were nitpicky in the questions and stuff like this. So I took some of their questions, modified them, and it's a one-page, mostly fill in blank, a little bit of multiple choice, a few calculations, that kind of stuff. That's going to be your first test. Different from all your other tests. Okay? Then, chapter 2 has, if I'm not mistaken, 3 labs. Okay? Then we'll have a test. A very long chapter. Chapter 3 is either 2 or 3, I think it's 3 labs, and then a test. Chapter 4, at least 2 labs, and then a test. Chapter 6, at least 3 labs, and then a test. Chapter 8 will just have 1 lab and a test, and by that time we're pretty close to the end of the term. Okay? That's the only chapter on chemistry. Though some of the concepts of physics will apply to chemistry as well, like heat and energy and that kind of stuff. So all those apply, they cross over, but this chapter is specifically a chemistry chapter. Okay. Something else I thought of that I probably should say. Now, as I said, we'll do have a research paper. I'll give you more information on that later. And then your final exam is comprehensive, covering all 6 chapters. It's matching, probably the easiest test you'll have the whole term. I don't usually have it in these classes because I say this at the beginning, but I have had it happen before. People say, well, I made all A's on my test, do I have to take the final? Yes, that's required here. This is one of the core competencies for the thing. This is how we measure the total learning that you've done. And so, yes, everyone takes the final exam. And we have pizza that day to do. So we'll try to make it. It's not going to take you long to do the final. And So anyway. There was something else. I can't remember now. Oh, yeah. Let's go back to this. Remember it said 2.5 hours of class and 2 hours of lab every day. Not quite really. That's just sort of the guidelines, or that's the way I treat it. Like what we're doing now, to me, this is more lab type stuff than it is. This is certainly not physical science, okay? This is just talking about it. So once we do all this, then we'll start chapter 1, okay? And so therefore, that'll be the last bit of the day. So things we'll do like this. But when we do have a lab, and when we have a test, here's how it will work. I always like to have the class the first either 2 hours or 2.5 hours, just like it said there. And then the lab, if we have a lab with no test, then it'll be class for 2.5 hours, lab for 2 hours. That way, if you finish the lab, you can go home. You don't have to sit around and wait for everybody else to finish the lab and then pick up class again. Okay? And on days we have the test, the last 30 minutes will be your test. If we have a lab that day, the 2 hours before that will be the lab. That means we'll only have 2 hours of class that day. Then 2 hours of lab and 30 minutes of test. That way, if you finish the lab and you want to start your test, you can. And when you finish the test, you can go home. Okay? So I'll try to make it so you don't have to hang around while other people finish and then pick up class again. So that means we may be doing the lab for chapter 1 while we're actually starting chapter 2 material. We'll have chapter 2, maybe the first part, then go back and do the lab for chapter 1, and then maybe have the test for chapter 1. So we'll always do it that way. And there could be some other days that we just don't have a lab, and those are fun days, aren't they? 4.5 hours of listening to me talk. Ooh, terrible. Okay. But we can live through that. Okay. So, here's what we're going to try to do how will I evaluate and assess you? That's what this part's about. And they put that first sentence in there, which I think is awfully redundant. The following list is a breakdown of how each student will be evaluated. Why don't they just leave that out and say this? So number one, a research paper is required in the class. That doesn't mean optional. That doesn't mean droppable. The research paper is required. It will count as a test grade that cannot be dropped. Okay? A chapter test will be given at the end of each chapter. Chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 8. At the end of each one, you'll have a chapter test. Okay? The lowest chapter test score may be dropped. Now, why don't I say will be dropped? Well, may allows me to not drop it if it helps your average. Okay? Say you don't turn in that research paper. And in my last class, I had about 2 or 3 people who have never received a research paper. Okay? They're going to need every test score they can to bring up that 0. Okay? So that's why I don't drop the lowest test score if you need it to help bring up a low paper score, like 0. There will be at least one laboratory assignment for each chapter covered. As you saw, Chapter 1 and Chapter 8 have 1 only. All the others have 2 or 3 labs. Okay? So there'll be a lab assignment, lots of lab assignments. Okay? The lowest lab assignment may be dropped if it helps you. Okay? A laboratory grade will be averaged from the remaining lab assignments. Okay? The lab average will count as 25% of the final grade. Where did that come from? Well, think about what we said on page 1. The course is a 4 credit hour course. 3 credit hours are subject matter. 1 credit hour is lab. 1/4 of your credits are lab, so 1/4 of the grade is lab. So all your labs will be scored on a 25-point basis. You get 25 out of 25, 24 out of 25, 23, 19 out of 25, something like that. So when I average those lab scores up, that would be that percentage of your grade. Now, when I do your test and your research paper, I base those on 100. So based on 100 points and final and all that. So that will give you a number of 100. I take 75% of that and then add it to your lab average. That's how you get your grade. Okay, that counts 25. The average of the paper, remaining test scores, after I drop 1 if it helps you, and the comprehensive final exam will count as 75% of the final grade. Then I'll add that 75% to that 25%, which will be your lab average. And the comprehensive final exam cannot be dropped. That's one of our measures of student learning. Then once we, and they, on this new format for the syllabus, they've just got this plagiarism stuff all over it. So plagiarize assignments will receive a 0, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so don't plagiarize. Okay. Much of what we do is not going to involve that anyway. Students will be graded A, B, C, D, or F. 90s are A's, 80s are B's, 70s are C's. Don't even bother going down there. Okay, please don't. It could happen, but I don't want you to. It shouldn't happen. Okay. Now, this next sentence here, I'll leave it on here. This is not how the person who wrote this wrote it, but I had to change it because it was just totally wrong. Here's how it read originally. The instructor always rounds up. That's what it said. The instructor always rounds up, never down. And then here's the for example that was given. For example, a 79.5 will be rounded up to an 80%. Okay? Yeah, I agree with that always. But a B. But a 79.4% would remain a C. Well, that's rounding down, isn't it? It's dropping to 4.4%. So that's not always rounding up. That's rounding normally. So I changed the first sentence. I probably wasn't supposed to. The instructor rounds grades normally. So 0.5 bumps you up a number, a 0.4 you just drop it. That's just normal. That's how Blackboard does it. That's how everything does it. So rather than saying I always round up when I don't, and when the example doesn't, I change it to read this. Okay. Most of the time, it's not going to be that close. Very seldom have I had anyone be right on that cusp. Most of the time, because guess what? I'm dropping your lowest lab score. I'm dropping your lowest test score. That's taking care, to me, of any round-off arguments you have. If you still got a C with that or a B or something, that's what you get. All right. Now, attendance. Absence. Students are expected to attend all classes for your registers, especially these mini-term classes, folks. Every class is a week's worth of material in a regular full-term class. Every class is. So college courses move very quickly, mini-terms even more quickly. Even 1 or 2 absences can cause students to feel lost. We're going to cover a lot of material in those 2 hours, 2.5 hours. Do not overestimate your ability to catch up, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so if you are getting behind, or you do get behind, please let me know. But guess what? That's why I record the classes. So if you do get sick, if you do get the flu, I had a guy with the flu sitting right where you're sitting. No, he's over it now, but he missed a week of class. And he came and told me, he said, look, I've had the flu, I just remember. Yeah. So, but I said, well, here's what we did. He said, I've been watching the videos. Fine, that's exactly why they're out there. But what you can do is do all this stuff we say here. Now, withdrawals. I'm going to get to this a little bit later. Oh, I probably should have done it back there when we did the D's and F's. But this is a good place to do it too. If you get hopelessly behind it, and believe me, the labs are coming just about every time we meet. There's going to be a lab. If you miss a lab, that's really hard to catch up because it's hard to do a video of the lab, especially when Ryan just gets here. You know, it just wrecks everything. Okay, where are you? There you are. All right. Now, because you see, in class, I'll have the PowerPoints, I'll be talking about them, we'll be working problems, everything will be out there. But in the lab, y'all are doing the work. And I'm just doing the instructions, and it's probably not good for me to walk around like this because my microphone's in the computer, so when I walk away, I probably get very dim to hear, but I'm trying to get it so y'all can hear and I don't get people's way over here. But if you do get way behind and you don't feel like you can catch up and it looks like you're going to make one of those D's or F's, or maybe another grade you don't want to have, then withdrawal, to me, is the better choice. Because if you make a D or an F, most of the time, you're going to have to repeat the course anyway, right? A D, hopefully, would hurt your grade point average. The only way a D would not hurt your grade point average if your grade point average is less than 1. That's the only way a D could help your grade point average. Pulls it up closer to 1. So I don't think any of you are in that boat. I hope not. Okay? But if you have a grade point average 2 or higher, a D is going to hurt. You know, definitely going to hurt. Even a 1.5, a D is going to hurt. An F is always going to hurt because this is 0. You know, pulling down the grade point, no matter what you got. So, a withdrawal doesn't hurt your grade point average at all. It does not affect it at all. Now, sure, if you have to repeat a course, then federal financial aid will pay for 1 repeat, but not 2. But that's however you repeat it. If you make a D, you may have to repeat it. I bet in the automotive program they don't accept these, do they? Okay, so you have to repeat it. If you make it F, I know they're going to make you repeat it. Okay? If you withdraw, you have to repeat it. So the repetition thing is the same for all 3. The other 2 hurt your grade point average, withdrawal doesn't. So it's always a better choice, in my mind, if you have a get hopelessly behind, way better to withdraw than to not. Now, here's one thing about withdrawal if you're on federal financial assistance. There is a point on your academic calendar, and we'll see this a little bit later. It won't be current, but you'll see it. It's a place where it's a 60% thing. after 4 weeks, sometime in the 5th week of this mini-term course, we'll reach 60% of the classes. If you withdraw before then and you're on federal financial aid, you're expected to pay that back. If you withdraw after that, they don't charge you. Okay? So if you are going to withdraw, not a good idea. If you're on federal financial aid, not a good idea to do it in the first half of the term. Wait until after midterm, whenever that is, and wait and withdraw then. So, okay. Makeup work. Now, I didn't write the first part. It says makeup tests are generally not given unless arrangements have been made with the instructor prior to the missed work due date. I put that part in. So if you are going to have to be out on the day we are going to have a test, let me know and let's make arrangements for when to make it up. Okay? Generally, only 1 week will be allowed to turn in work if such arrangements have been made, except for unusual circumstances. Like if you have the flu and you're out for 2 weeks. No, I don't want you back early when you can infect everybody else. I'd rather you get well. Or if any of you happen to be on Naval Reserve, Army Reserve, National Guard or something like this, have to take a 2-week training, yeah, we allow that, you know, and you make it up when you come back. And you are allowed to drop 1 major hourly exam and 1, or chapter exam I'll call it, and 1 lab. Okay. So if you miss more than 1 lab, in fact, if you miss any, try to make them up within a week. Get with a buddy, especially if you know you're going to miss. Let someone take notes for you. I don't even mind if they get an extra lab for you so they can fill out the data. Whatever. But don't just forget about it. Because odds are we're not going to have much time to make up the labs. We can do it on a few of them that are really simple. I can get you going and you can make it up. But most of the time, you'll need that. Okay, lateness, except for I. Okay, no. All classes will begin promptly at the scheduled time. I will try to do that, unless they call meetings or something. So try to be here on time. But if you can't, we were going to do it if we could have moved the class up a little bit. Going blank on your name. Thomas, right? Yeah. Thomas had a class on the Birmingham campus. He was going to get over here as soon as he can. Right now, it's not an issue. Okay. So, because I would be recording classes and his 2 brothers are in the class too. So, okay. So, try to be here and stay with it. Now, academic integrity. It's important, but boy, they go on and on and on and on about it. So let me try to shorten it as much as possible. Yes? Pardon me? By the way, folks, I'm hard of hearing, so.
I was just saying, may I be excused?
Oh, sure, absolutely. I'm sorry. You don't even have to ask. Yeah. Okay. I'm hard of hearing, so if I say, it's not because I'm not paying you attention. I just don't hear. Okay. That's not right. That's never mind. Don't ask. Okay. Academic integrity, have it. Practice it. Use it. Okay. Plagiarism, don't do it. Okay. I'm trying to shorten this as much as possible. Okay. Be honest. Have integrity. Don't plagiarize. Don't cheat. Okay. Now, read the stuff. Okay. Read the stuff. Follow it. Do it. But I don't want to spend just lots of time going over stuff that you can read yourself. Okay? So don't cheat. Okay? The instructor reserves the right to pursue further discipline, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Now, boy, this next one. Professional decorum. I guess I'll say this. Have it. Okay? We'll go over a few of these things just so they'll say we did it. Okay? To me, this is almost high schoolish or something. I don't even know what it is. Okay? Avoid behavior. Okay, here's the big deal. Conduct yourself as adult professionals. Okay? Avoid behaviors that are distracting or disrespectful to your classmates or your instructors. Okay? I don't really care about me, but your classmates. So if you're going to have issues, okay, avoid texting or unauthorized internet use, especially if it's distracting. If you've got something up there that is going to catch his attention and keep him from paying attention in class, you're hurting him, okay? Don't do it. Same thing, if you got stuff up, because I can't tell, I don't know if you got an ebook there or what kind of sites you may be looking at. Yeah, I really don't care. I'd rather you be paying attention, but if you're doing your ebook, super. Sleeping. Please don't snore, especially if you snore loudly, okay? Because that distracts other people, okay? So don't do it. Now, literally, this class is my Fiscal Science 111, I think it was. I had a kid back in that corner, and like I said, I'm hard of hearing, but I heard the giggling first. So I turned around to see, am I covered? Is everything all right? And then I found out, boy, he was sawing logs, and everybody else was paying attention to him rather than me. I had trouble paying attention after that. I think someone did bump him, or he at least got quieter. So please, speaking out of, I really want you to participate in class, but don't overtalk everybody else, okay? So, and certainly not rudely or unkindly. We'll get to some of that later. Unnecessary traffic in the classroom, I don't see that happening very much. Now, my wife sometimes calls me the Sandman, because sometimes if she has trouble sleeping, she'll ask me a question, and I start talking, and she's asleep. So she says I have the most sleep-worthy voice of anyone she knows. So, if that's the case, and I have had students do this, get up and stand against the wall. Sorry that I'm making you do that, but if that's the only way you can stay awake, that's fine. I don't mind. So that kind of traffic, I can't object to too much. Eating and drinking. Now, y'all had a long day. Okay, probably all of you have. If you need some caffeine or some calories or something, because you only have 15 minutes between the last class and this one, if you need something, I don't object. If you make a mess, you clean it up. Okay, we don't want that on the cleaning ladies. Okay, I'm not going to clean it up. You clean it up. And wearing inappropriate clothing, sunglasses, hats, okay, I don't mind your hat, especially if your hair's really, no. I don't care, okay? However, if it's something that's distracting to somebody else, yeah, I don't mind that. If you have these big flowery plumes and people can't see around you, yeah, don't wear those hats, okay? No, they're too distracting. Okay, so if you have on earphones, I'd rather you be listening to me, but if they're so loud they're distracting other people, shut them off. You got the idea. Okay, blah, blah, blah. What if you have an issue with me? You have the right to a healthy learning environment. If you have any concern about either how I'm teaching the course or how I'm acting professionally or not professionally or whatever, first come and see me, okay? Let me know. We'll try to straighten it out, okay? Attempt to resolve the matter. Secondly, if that's unsuccessful, go to the department chair. Oh, I'm the department chair. Okay, no. Not really for natural sciences. That's Dr. Tracy Williams. I'm math department chair. But you can come to me anyway if you want to. But Dr. Wilson will handle it too. If that doesn't work to your satisfaction, then you can go past the department chair and go to my boss, who is the associate dean, the vice president, the president. We'll take you as high as well. I'll help you get there. Okay, put my knee on the report. I'll do it because I want you to be into a situation that you can learn the best you can. Okay, there are some places on the website you can go and make your concerns and complaints there. All right, now this is something that's not a laughing matter: discrimination and harassment. Now, I put one more thing in here: bullying. To me, that's harassment. Okay. The college and Alabama Board of Education, we're under Alabama Community College System, not Board of Education anymore, but whatever. They're all committed to providing both employment and educational environments free of harassment. So I've been here 20 some odd years now. I don't remember exactly how many. And so far, I have seen basically nothing that falls under this. Now, I'm not saying it hasn't happened, but they haven't been stupid enough to do it in front of me. Okay? So, if it is happening, and you either see it, or sense it, or suspect it, please let us know about it. Let me or anyone else know about it. We want to investigate it, deal with it quickly, fairly, due process, all that kind of stuff, but we don't want it happening. We do not want it happening on the campus. We're not going to turn blind eyes. We want to make sure that everybody feels safe, secure, that individuals' race, color, gender, religion, natural origin, age, disability, whatever, we want you to be in a healthy learning environment. Okay? So let us know. The one thing, this is sort of an example, but it's not really of this. It happened to be an automotive student. And he happened to be in the GM program. But this was years ago, decades ago. One of the first classes, it may have been the very first class I taught. I used to teach them, we were Western State Technical College then. And we had a special math course that was called Math for the Automotive Trade, or something like that. We focused on math examples and stuff for automotive students. And I had him in the class, big class. And after a few days, I had the whole class of them, And he was, acted young and immature, and I got the impression he really didn't want to be here. Later, I got the impression that he said, "You are going to college, what do you want to do?" "Well, let me be a mechanic." But he had no interest in being a mechanic either. He just was trying to pick something he thought would be easy. Well, one day at lunch, out in the back parking lot back here, he just decided to walk across people's cars. And somebody saw him, jerked him off of there, got him to the dean's office. He was in there for a while, and then he was off campus, never to be seen again. Okay? That's not discrimination or harassment. That's just stupidity in my mind. He was out of here. Okay? That's with a fair hearing, due process, and everything. We don't want it happening here, and we'll do whatever it takes to make sure it doesn't happen. Americans with Disabilities, another issue. Had a student in my last class, the first mini-term class, who was severe hearing loss. She had a court recorder in here taking notes for her because she couldn't hear or distinguish most of what I said. Whatever it takes. Okay? I had many years ago another student who had a brain tumor, and it wrapped around his olfactory thing, so he was basically almost completely deaf. He set his tape recorder here on my desk, and then we got home, he could crank that baby up as loud as he wanted to and hear everything that was said. Whatever it takes. We want to make sure that you have the optimal situation for you to learn. Okay? So if you feel like you have any learning disabilities, okay, that could be the dyslexia, all those letters that I can't ever get straight, any of those kind of things, bring your documentation. Not to me. Dr. Renee Herndon on this campus is in charge of our Office of Disability for the whole school, both campuses. And she found that this phone number on our campus and Ms. Janine McCoy Jones on the Birmingham campus handles the things there. But Dr. Herndon is in charge of the whole thing. You can go to the college's website, request a meeting online. There's lots of ways you can proceed. Okay? Any questions on that? Okay. Now, here's the college calendar. This is the one for last spring. So it won't be accurate on the dates, but basically the things are, the topics are here. Okay? Sometime within a couple of weeks will be the last day to withdraw and receive a partial refund. Okay? We don't have spring break, but we will have Thanksgiving. We also have Veterans Day. Okay, now, good news, bad news on that. There will be no classes on Monday on that week of Veterans Day, on Veterans Day on Monday. But the good news is Won't affect us any because we meet Tuesday, Thursday, all right. But on Thanksgiving week, y'all have the whole week off. We don't, but you do. I don't think we have any honors award day. But here's that one. Now, this is for the last spring. I'll have the dates in here now. The 60% completion date for Title IV funds, that's federal financial aid. If you're on that, good idea not to withdraw before that date if you're going to withdraw after that date. And then it's another week or so before the last day you can withdraw. So you only have about a 2-week period there. And then last day of class. I'll have all this out there, when the final exam is, when the final grades will be. And then we'll have a fall commencement. Are any of you participating in that? I know y'all are, because y'all graduate in the spring. Any of you graduating in the fall? Okay. That won't be a big deal, because it's after classes and finals are over. Okay. Once I get everything corrected, and you've read it, and understand it, and have asked me any questions you have, then, if you will, you can either type your name on this page. See, this is or you can sign it and bring it into me. You can type it on there and email it to me. However, just get me this, that you have read the syllabus, understood it. It has to get out there first. It's not there now. As soon as I get it there, I'll let you know. Any questions on the syllabus? Okay. If not, then I'm going to close this out. I probably have to, did I save anything? No, I didn't. Okay. All right, let's go to the next thing. Research paper. Okay? You get to choose your topic. Any topic within the scope of the course. What does that cover? Physics and chemistry. What does physics cover? It covers motion, speed, acceleration, energy, heat, light, sound, electricity, magnetism. There's a ton of things that you can choose. You pick something. It can be a person. We'll mention several people. Galileo, Newton, many other people we'll mention. It can be a theory. In my last class, a few people wrote on Big Bang Theory or something to do with that, okay? It can be a theory like Newton's or planetary motion. You know, there's a bunch of things you could do on that. Ohm's law, lots of things you could choose. Phenomenon, okay? Again, Big Bang Theory was in the last class, but here, this sort of is a phenomenon, but also an application. Applications I really like, and I've actually had some students, automotive students, do something like this. Can't remember which program he was in, but he did his paper on the physics of regenerative braking, which they use in the hybrids, okay? Or, I know one, I think he was a Ford student, did it on the flex fuel system. I had one, he wasn't a Mazda student, but he wrote on the Wankel engine, the physics of the Wankel engine, okay? Lots of potential topics that you can probably find within your area of interest, okay? You other majors, you pick whatever applies to you, okay? Any other topic about what you have an interest. I'd rather it be something that you're interested in. Now here's one other possibility. It can be an internet application or demonstration which you find useful for the class. And yours was pretty close to this last time, but not quite. She did one on a movie, actually, okay? That was talking about black holes, you know. That was really, you did a great job with that. So, yeah, there's a variety of things. But what I was thinking when I put this in here, let's say that I describe something like maybe Ohm's law. I mean, Ohm's law is pretty simple. But everything I say sounds like blah, 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 okay? But then you say, what in the world does this matter, you know? But then you find a YouTube video or something out there in the internet, and you say, wow, that's what it meant, okay? Yeah, I understand it now. You can write on that, okay? So anything that you find that has something to do with the class. So what I'd like you to do this week, if possible, you can even do it today if you want to, write your name and at least what you think right now might be your best guess of what topic you would like to select. Write that on a piece of paper and turn it in to me. Okay? Now, that's not very much to put on a whole sheet of paper. So here's something else you can put that has nothing to do with the research paper. Every now and then, it doesn't happen often, but it does happen that I'll get a phone call or even someone rushing to my door, banging on the door during class from one of the offices downstairs saying, "Thus and so is in your physical science class. Do you have the best way to get in touch with them? The number in the system is not working. We need to get in touch with them." Okay? Well, if I have that best number, then I can say, yes, here it is. And that's only going to be given to an official here at the college. Not another student, nobody else. It's just someone here at the college for official business. Someone's desperately trying to get in touch with you, and every number we have in the system is not working. You know, someone transposed 2 digits, your cell phone died, you changed service and changed numbers, and what we have is wrong. If you want to give me your very best phone number, in addition to your name and your research topic, you can do that. Okay? You don't have to, but if you want to give that to me, that way if that happens, I can say, well, here's the latest number I have. Now, my guess, that probably is going to be a cell number. Okay? And if there's a chance that cell phone has died, you left it, you got run over by a truck, okay? The battery is out, anything such as that, and you want to give us a good backup number, like Mama's landline or something like that, that's fine. You can give me that as well. Or, I know some of you work. If you work and people don't want you using your cell phone at work, but they will take emergency numbers and get in touch with you, and you want to leave a work number, that's fine too. I can't think of any reason I'd need more than, I don't need them, but I'd have any call for more than 3 numbers. But you don't have to give me 3. You can give me 0, 1, 2, or up to 3. You decide. But if you want to give that on that same piece of paper, you can. I'll keep it at the end of the term. It will be shredded. Okay? Now, you'll need to find at least 1, but 2 or more sources are better. And they have to be outside sources. Now, this book does a really good job. In just about every chapter, there's at least one person they focus on that has done something real. They call it people behind the science. And they're really nice words. That can't be the source of your research paper. You have to find something outside the book, outside the course to use as your sources. Okay? Now, that can be anything that you find in a library. A book, a journal, newspaper, magazine, any kind of articles that you can find in the library. Or, now I do allow this, but I'm real hesitant to, legitimate internet source. Because I tell most of my classes this, during my lifetime, I'm fairly old, okay? During my lifetime, I don't think anything's been created or invented that's more impressive than the internet. So back in 1951, long ago, it didn't exist. And in my short lifetime, it is already, it's just incredible, okay? So there's many problems with at least 2 big ones in my mind. Number one, at least half of the stuff on the internet is total garbage, okay? Total garbage, probably more than half. Second problem is sometimes you can't tell which half it is. Okay? A lot of times you know exactly which is the half, but sometimes you can't. So if you do find something on the internet and you're a little suspicious of it, please run it by me. I don't want you wasting your time writing a paper based on something on the internet that's totally not true. So run it by me and I'll say, oh yeah, I've seen that in many places. Yeah, you can use that. All right. No, see if you can find something else. I've never heard of this person. I've never heard of this theory. That sounds pretty bogus to me. So, yeah. Make sure it's legit. The textbook is not an outside source. However, it's a great source of ideas for your paper. So you can run across those people behind the science. If you find, hey, this is an interesting guy or gal, or somebody else was mentioned there and you're interested in them, yeah, this can be a great source of ideas, but it can't be the source for your paper. That has to be something from outside. Your paper must be at least one word process page of text. Now, I want it double spaced. This is single spaced. I want you to double space. This is double spacing here, okay? And a standard font, 12 pitch, 12 point, whatever you call it. I want 26 point. So 3 words fill up the page and you say you're through. It's not going to work, okay? So don't do that. But what do I mean by one word process page of text? Now, some of you will choose a format that you have some sort of header up here, or maybe over here. You skip a few lines, you have your title, you triple space, and you start typing here. One page of text will go to the bottom of this page, and then on the second piece of paper, come down at least that far. That's a full page of text. So it's going to be a minimum of 2 pieces of paper, unless you write front and back, which is fine. That's fine too. But it's got to be at least 1 page of text. Okay? But I do want it double space, not single space. So that gives you, less you have to write. The font, I don't care as long as I can read it, and I don't read Old English and Cyrillic and even Greek or those. Don't get funny, okay? If I can't read it, I can't grade it, or it's going to be pretty loud. Lots of good readable fonts out there. Keep it there. Try to keep your paper less than 2 pages. So shoot for between 1 and 2 pages. However, that you're not going to get docked for it being too long. You will lose points for it being too short, but not for it being too long. Okay? If you get so interested in your topic, you just can't top in 2 pages, I'm excited for you. Okay? I'll enjoy reading that because I'll read your excitement in it. Okay? But here's what I don't want. I've only had this happen, like I said, I've been here 20-some odd years, and at least 15 or 16 of those years I've had papers assigned to every class that I've taught, almost. There's 1 or 2 classes I have it. And had classes usually bigger than this, sometimes as many as 40-some, not usually, but sometimes. So averages around 20. I've taught up to 8 classes a term. This term I've got 8, I think. Most of the time fewer than that, I hope. But, I've seen a lot of papers. Now, I've only had this happen a couple times I can recall right now. Someone just decides he's going to replace quantity for quality. Don't do that. It's not going to work, and here's why. When I start reading your paper, it's a 100-point paper. When you turn it in to me, it's a 100-point paper. I start reading, and I don't say, don't read it. No, I'm going to read it. You put all that work into it. If I start finding errors, you start losing points. Okay? Now, if you give me 5 pages of garbage, you've lost a lot of points. Okay? If it's 5 good pages, you're not going to lose many points at all. Okay? But if it's 5, so don't try to substitute quantity for quality. Give me a good paper. Let it be as long as you want. It has to be more than a page, but as long as you want. But make sure it's good. Okay? You can use any format you want. Most English classes teach MLA, Modern Language Association format. A lot of science courses prefer APA, which is American Psychological Association. They just happen to come up with a great format. Everybody else said, boy, we can't top this. Let's use it. Okay? So that's pretty standard. Any format you use, but be consistent. What do I mean by that? If you start blocking paragraphs like I did, block them all. I've actually had a paper this term that the first paragraph was indented to here, the next one to here, the next one maybe 1, and the next one not at all. I thought, what are they doing here? There's nothing consistent in this. And then they started indenting again. I don't know, okay? So please be consistent, okay? So whatever format you choose, be good. Now let me mention this one because I have seen it again, not often, but occasionally. You have a couple of sources. You refer to a source, and you put a parentheses there, and you put the author's name, comma, year of publication. But that's fine. If that's what your your format calls for. But then later down here, you make a reference to another source just like that source, a book or a magazine, same type thing, but you open parentheses, put the title of the article, and then the page number. I go, those are the same type things, yet you're using it. Well, I think I know what happened. Because I've been caught myself almost doing the same thing too when I've been writing a research paper. I'll look at this source that I have here and look how they do their format, and then I'll make a reference just like they did. And then down here, they're using a different format, and I'll make a reference like they did. No, you choose your format and make all your references according to your format, and not according to what paper you're looking at. I have seen happen only a few times. Okay. Now, spelling, grammar, sentence structure, all those type of things that they take off in English class, yeah, I'll be taking them off here too. Okay. So please use spell check. Every word processing package that I know of these days has spell check on it. And I graded several papers at the end of the mini term that I guarantee they were the ones that came in late, and I guarantee you they just in a hurry printed them, turned them in, forgot to use spell check. I could tell. And grammar check. Most of the word processing packages have grammar check. Use it by all means, okay? And also use good proofreading. That's another reason not to wait till the end of the term to do it, because then you probably aren't going to take the time to proofread it, okay? If you let it sit, say over a weekend, pick it up and read it with fresh eyes, this is what my English teacher in high school said, you're going to find things you said. What did I mean by that, okay? Because you knew what it meant when you were typing it, but you left out a word or two or something, but you knew what you were meaning, and you didn't even notice you left it out then. But when you pick it up later, you say, whoa, that doesn't even make sense. If it doesn't make sense to you, it's not going to make sense to me, okay? So use good proofreading. But content also matters, okay? So if you have inconsistencies there, you'll lose points for them as well. And I've had just a couple of dumb examples here. I had a lot of papers on Isaac Newton, of course, because he's really famous. And someone, and I'm just going to make up some dates here, they may refer to him, and when they first mention him, they put in parentheses, you don't have to do this, I've had people do it, the year of his birth, comma, the year of his death. And then later on page 2 or 3, they have him dying in a different year. Whoa, this isn't consistent. I know you didn't mean that. Or had something that he did in a year outside of his lifespan. Like you meant to say 1483 and you said 1843. No, he wasn't even alive then. Okay, I will be able to pick up. Now, in math classes, I've had a bunch of papers on Pythagorean theorem, and I've actually had some people study it completely incorrectly. Okay, I will pick up most of that kind of stuff. So please get your content. Be careful. Good proofreading will probably catch that for you too. Now, when is it due? Technically, the last day of class. That's not the last day of finals. The last day we have a class. Don't wait till then to turn it in. Okay? Get it in sooner. Okay? You'll never have more time to work on it than you do right now. You don't have any labs due. You don't have any tests due. This is the best time to get started. That's why I want you to give me a paper topic as soon as you can, so you can get started. Okay? I'll tell you this, because it's something I've observed, like I said, probably close to 20 years I've been assigning these papers. I've seen tons of them, lots of them. Usually the papers that come in early in the term usually are some of my best papers. And quite often those that come in late in the term, like I graded a couple last week that were 2 of the worst papers of the whole term, mostly because they didn't use spell check and grammar check. They were in a hurry getting it typed, getting it printed, and just messed up badly. Okay? Now, usually the trend is like that. I've had some dogs at the beginning of the term, and I've had some great papers at the end. But the general trend is downhill. So get started early, get it done early, knock it out of the way. Okay? Now that's, and also this, if you turn in the paper after that last day of class, you lose points for being late. I'll accept it, because I don't want to give you a 0, but you will be losing points. That's the stick. Here's the carrot. And I did get this corrected. If you submit your paper this month, the month of October, you still have what, 2 weeks left? You get 2 bonus points added to whatever grade you got. If you turn it in the month of November, you get 1 bonus point. If you turn it in December, you get your score. If you turn it in after the last day of class, you start losing points. Okay? So please, earlier the better. All right. Now here's something I require. I don't think many other people do, but please do it. When you submit your paper, please attach a single page from one of your sources. Okay? If you've got a book or a journal or something you got out of the library, take it over to a copier, copy me a single page from it, turn it in with your paper. If it's something you got off the internet, print me a single page from it and turn that in with your paper. Now, if it was a link, like a YouTube video or something like that, there's nothing printed on it, then give me the link. Okay? That's all you have to do for that. If it's a computer application, do it. Okay. Now, any questions? Understood what to do with the papers? Get me your paper topics early. Here's the reason. Because if you do, I've mentioned Isaac Newton, and you want to do the life of Isaac Newton, then the next person turns in, no, I've already got one on that, pick something else. Maybe one of his theories, or maybe one of his things he did, or something like that. But I've already got his life. Okay, so things like this. The sooner you get it in, the sooner that's yours and not anybody else's. So I have here, again, my email address, my phone number in this office, my office number on this office, and the office number on the Birmingham West Campus. All right. Any questions about the research paper? Okay. As soon as I get to do on Blackboard, this will be out there. Okay. So if there are no questions, I'll end that. Now, the one other thing, this is just my, what they call a locator card. This is what I post on my door. This is the one I have now. I've got to change it because, and by the way, this has fall 2019, my name, my office number, both campuses. The first number here is my Bessemer campus. This is my Birmingham Friday number. Here's my email address. Math department. This happens to be science. It's okay. And then what I have here is when I arrive on campus, when I have office hours, when I have lunch, when I have a variety of things like this. And there will be a couple of changes. I'll point those out right now. My Mondays and Wednesdays and Fridays are all perfectly correct as done. But since some of you have not been in my class before, I'll go over those again really quickly. Okay. This is almost everything. On Mondays and Wednesdays, I had an 8 o'clock or 8:30 class, but one of my instructors needed one. I had more classes than I needed, so I gave that to her. So I have from 8 o'clock until 10 o'clock, I'm free on Monday and Wednesday. Big chunks of office hours there. Then I have Calculus 2 from 10 o'clock to 11:40, and I have right at a half hour here that I try to get half my lunch eaten. Then I have Calculus 3 here, and that goes down to 1:55. So then I go back to my office and try to cram down the rest of my lunch. And then, starting at 2:30, I have differential equations that goes to 3:45, and then from 3:45 until 6, those are another good chunk of office hours. That's Monday. Okay. Wednesday starts out that way, but I'll come to that later. Tuesday and Thursday are identical. I do have an 8:30 class those days, 8:30 to 9:45, but my 10 o'clock class did not make. They moved it to the Birmingham campus and combined it with another class, and so I do have a block there from 9:45 until 11:30. Okay. However, I eat my lunch here, but I bring my lunch, I eat in my office, so you can come see me during lunch. That's fine too. So I eat the first half of my lunch then from 11 to 11:30. Then I teach my linear algebra class then. And when I finish that, I go back to my office and try to eat the last. In fact, now that we're going to be later, I may just wait and eat lunch after 12:30. In fact, I'll probably change that now that I think about it. Because first mini-term, my physical science started at 1:15. Now that we're starting at 3:15, I have all the time I need. So I'll move my lunch from 12:45 to 1:45. Okay, I'll probably do that, and that will be for me. Then I have office hours from 1:45 until, well, actually from 12:45 until 3:15. Okay. Then this class, I'll get this corrected and move it down here, and we'll be going till 7:45. So I won't get off campus until 8 o'clock. Okay. Now, what's different? That's the same on Tuesday and Thursday. What's different on Wednesday, when you get down here to after my differential equations class, I have to pack up, and I have 15 minutes to get everything together, and then head to Birmingham East Campus for my physics class that goes from 4:30 to 6:30. So I'm off campus after 6:30. That's Birmingham East Campus. And then Friday, Birmingham West Campus and academic building B122, and I'm there from 8 to 12. Now, they require us to put our lunch in here, so I put 11 to 12 my lunch hour then. I don't bring a lunch on, I bring a snack or something like that on Friday, so I'm going to be going home most of the time. So I'm in my office and I may be eating on something, but it's not full lunch. So come anytime, 8 to 12. Now, most of the time I'm there before 8, and almost always I'm there after 12. So don't think I'm strictly on this, but that's what I shoot for. The dean loves calling meetings after lunch on Friday, so I'm usually there later. But then I'm in a meeting, so I can't do anything. And even I have to call some of my department meetings in because I have instructors that teach all morning, so I have to wait and do this. Okay. Any questions on my locator card? I will correct the physical science, and that will change my office hours and when I leave campus on those days. All right, if no questions, then we'll get out of that. Now, before we start the science, there is one other issue that we have to talk about. I don't have any visual aid on this, but this is safety. Now, our safety in here is not nearly as involved as safety in your shop and things like this, but there still are issues we have to think about ahead of time so we know what to do in case it happens. 3 issues of safety. Can anyone think of one of them? Bad weather. Okay, that certainly happens. It still could be happening now. What were we? In the 90s last week and in the 70s this week? Huh? Yeah. Yeah, when you have that big of temperature changes, you can have some severe weather. Thunderstorms can happen anytime. So if we do hear that weather siren go off, what do we do? What do you do in case of bad weather? Okay. You go low and interior. So we'll go out the door here, go take a left, go down this half flight of stairs here, take another left, go down one more flight. There you're almost as low as you can go in that building, in this building. So you come out of that bottom stair, right across the hall from you are restrooms, like you see here. Those restrooms are actually fairly safe places to be in bad weather. Why? Because the walls are close together, lots of corners. Corners are where the strength of the building is. Okay? Out in the middle of a room, not so much. So if the walls are close together, you've got a lot of strength there. It just may be that you might not want to spend a couple of hours in the restroom. Okay? That may not be all that enticing. So the restrooms may not be your first choice. Not a bad choice, but not maybe your first choice for a long period of time. Now, actually, on that first floor, this is the second floor. The first floor, there are a couple more steps down after the restroom level. Right there, when you get to the bottom step, to the right, where there's a corridor here, is actually the dean's office. She's very seldom on this campus, but when she is, that's her office. But she does let other people use it, but it's usually locked. But if somebody's in there, again, it's a small space, lots of corners. And here's another thing about that thing here. On the first floor, everything behind this wall here, this interior wall, soil. You don't have any building behind there. You don't have airspace. You have soil. Nothing can cave that in that I can think of. Okay, nothing's going to come flying in there. This is a good solid wall, good safe place to be. So her office backs up against that wall. Again, walls are close together, lots of corners. Now, just past that, her office is a classroom. That was, if any of you had developmental math in room 160, that's the room I'm talking about. That's sort of a big space, but again, that back wall is as strong as you can get. Okay, the corners are very strong. The front wall faces the hallway, still a pretty good safe wall. But middle of the room, if something does happen above, it could cave in. So I wouldn't say in the middle, but it's a pretty safe place. Just past that, you go into the library. The class door is there. The first door in there is a computer room, which is a little bit smaller than the classroom, so the walls are closer together. That's pretty good secure, and that back wall is very, very solid. Right next to that is what I call the reference room. It's a little bit bigger than the computer room. It has a lot of shelves and stuff in it, so if things start rocking and stuff, some of those could come down, but I don't think so. Again, that back wall is very secure. Don't go any further into the library because then you get on the exterior. You do not want to be in the exterior where there's windows because limbs can come flying in those windows and they can cause damage to you. The glass can cause damage to you. You don't want to be in an exterior room. Low interior. So that's what we do in case of bad weather. If that siren goes off, we do. Now, what do? I grab my roll book and I take it with me and a pen or pencil. And I'm the last one out because somebody may be on crutches or gimp leg or something like that. I'm going to be making sure the last person gets down there, okay, safely. And then I'm going to be calling roll. So don't say, oh, bad weather, I better run home, the dog's outside. No, leave the dog alone, the dog will be safe. The worst place you can be is on the road when it's bad weather. Even if it's severe thunderstorm, lightning, you don't want to be on the road low in interior. The dog has enough sense to take care of himself or anybody else, okay? Now, so I'll get down there, I'll call roll. If we can't find you, that means myself or somebody else has to go upstairs looking for you, risking our lives and health, trying to find where you may have gotten delayed, fallen downstairs, taken a wrong turn. So don't do it. Stay together. Once we call roll, they'll let us know what to do. All right, so there's one safety issue, bad weather. Can anyone think of another?
Clothing.
Say again?
Clothing. Are we going to be on an open fire?
Okay, yeah, what if we have a fire? Let's start with the worst case scenario. It starts in here. My computer blows up and starts setting those papers on fire, the desk on fire. What do we do? Say again? Close the door?
No, go.
Oh, go, okay. Yeah, Amanda's going to go and let the rest of the building burn down and not worry about any of these other people in other adjacent classrooms. Are you? Okay? We need to do something else before we get out of here. What is it?
Pull the fire alarm.
Pull a fire alarm. Okay, where is the closest fire alarm to where we are right here? There's none in this room. Where's the closest fire alarm? Any ideas? Yeah, no, okay, you would think. This part, all this part here, this huge horseshoe here, that's the outer part of this building, was all built before fire alarms were part of the code. We don't have a fire alarm on any of these halls inside here. However, the newest part of the building is down here. You see this corridor? That goes through to the student services wing. That's the newest part. Fire alarms in there. You can either go to the left or to the right. This is financial services right here. Fire alarm right there and here. Either place. So, first thing, I would say two of them, not just one. Two of you go down and do a fire alarm. Pull a fire alarm. Now, I bet you guys, I said, it would be cool to pull that, and so, yeah, you thought that. Okay, so you get to do that if the fire starts in here. That's one thing we do before we leave. Okay, What's another thing we ought to do?
Find
Find
a fire extinguisher.
a fire extinguisher. Excellent. Where is the closest fire extinguisher to where we are right here? Look again. Guess what? Less than 5 feet from where I'm standing. Right there is the fire extinguisher. Someone go get the fire extinguisher. And I bet you some of you guys have always said, ooh, did you break that glass? Yeah, I thought you had. Okay, so sure, you get your chance. Break the glass, bring it in here. I'll take care of operating it unless you know what you're doing with it. But that's the second thing. So, one other thing we probably should have done too, when someone goes to do the fire alarm and we get the fire extinguisher. Yes, okay. Actually, a better number than 911 would be the local police, campus police. And most of the doors of this building, I think, have that number posted on some piece of paper there, giving the Birmingham and Bessemer campus police number. Put that in your cell phone. Now, I don't ever bring my cell phone to class because I don't want it going off while I'm teaching. But I bet you most of you have cell phones in here, and if you do, if you can, go on and put that on speed dial, or however you call it nowadays on your cell phone, so you can get to it in an emergency really quickly. If you don't have it, 911 is next best. Because they'll get in touch with 911, but they can respond faster than 911 can. So do that. So we fire alarm, 911 or campus police, and fire extinguisher. After those are taken care of, the rest of us are on the way out. What do we do in case of fire? Again, we go out the door here, hang a left, go down that half flight of stairs right there, and then hang another left, go down one more flight, but this time we go out of the building, not into the building. So go out, and how far do we go? They used to say 75 feet away from the building, because if there is a fire in here, and if there are things that could explode, I can't think of many, but there could be, then that's going to blow glass out. So don't be near the building. Nowadays, they say, actually get further away than that. They say, go down here, this is where we are, in this corner of the building here. We'll go out this exit right there, go down to the parking lot, right down there between us and the Ethel Hall building. That big old parking lot there. Stay together in a group. Don't say, hey, building's on fire, I'm out of here. Get to go home early tonight. No. Stay together. Otherwise, I get down there, I'm the last one out, remember, because I'm either putting out the fire or making sure everybody is safely out. I get down there, call roll, can't find somebody. The only assumption we can make is that you're still in the building. So either myself or some fire professional has to go into a burning building to try to look for you. So stay together until you get word what we're supposed to do. Okay. So there's weather, and now we say fire, but it could be chemical spill or anything that we need to evacuate the building. Okay. What is the third safety issue we have to think about? Yes, active shooter. Okay. Sorry we even have to mention it, but it's happening more and more frequently. Now, I've only heard of one community college that's had an active shooter. That was some states, several states away. I don't remember which one, Missouri or somewhere. But several universities have had them. And then town, cities, shopping centers, all sorts of places have had them. What do we do in case of, in high school, grammar schools, elementary schools, it's been in all sorts of places. What do we do for an active shooter? If y'all hear the pop, 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 guess what? I'm hard of hearing. You'll hear it before I will.
Probably get the vest and put it in front
Say
of the
again?
door. Get the vest and put it in front of the door.
That sounds like a great idea. Actually, I have a key that works in this door. But you notice there's no way to lock it from in here. And even if you open it, there's no way to lock it there. I have to actually step outside, with trembling hands, get the key in and lock it. And then I come back in, don't be pulling the door. Okay. I come back in. You can lock this door. Okay? That's a good thing. Most of the classrooms not so they have that opportunity. This used to be my office. I had to have a key to get into the classroom to get into my office. I still have it. Okay, now, the trouble is there's a classroom right through there. Okay? Now, this door is unlocked now. There is a button right here that I can press, and now it's locked from the inside, but not not from the outside. So do not lock this one. That locks us in. It doesn't lock the shooter out. Okay? This door has a deadbolt, but I don't have a key for that. Okay? This door has a button just like that, but this time it locks from the outside, not from the inside. This is the one we want. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a key for that door. But it just happens to be that the police don't usually come around and unlock the door. I can, in the morning, come and unlock this one, and I open that door. So a lot of times that door will be locked. So what we do is go in there and close that door. Now it's locked from the outside, but even if it's not, close the door, turn off the light. There's no class in there. Lock this door, close that one, so they can't get in. Now I'm going to unlock this again. Okay? We close this door. Now why would we close this one? Because that has glass in it. He can shoot through or break through the glass, reach in and unlock the door and come through, if he can see we're in here. Close this door, he doesn't know anybody's in here. Now what you didn't mention before, and we probably should, is once I get this door locked from the outside, you turn off the light. Okay, where do we go? Right over here. It's going to be really hard for him to shoot through concrete block walls. Okay? Not hard for him to shoot through this glass, not too hard to shoot through this, or even the door. I don't think that's solid wood, it may be, but nevertheless, he can't shoot through it. If he tries, he's going to get more blowing back at him than we have. So we're back here, and we're quiet as we can be. Now, what else do we do right at the very beginning? Once you hear that pop, pop, pop. Oh. Yeah, dial campus police. They may not have been on campus to hear it too. So dial them or 911. After that, everyone turn your cell phones off, completely off. We don't want a cell phone going off right when he's passing the hallway. We want them to think this room is vacant. We have the lights off, projector off, everything's off. We're quiet as dormice over here. Okay? So, and we stay that way until we get to all clear. Okay? Now, if by chance, and it is a possibility, that he makes his way in, okay? If that we can't lock that door over there, it's not locked, he does find his way in, you don't be the hero, okay? Your life's in front of you. Most of mine is back here somewhere, okay? So, I was in the military, never had to face a situation like that, but I think I can probably handle it. So, you don't be the hero. Let me do whatever it takes. You protect each other, okay? Any question? Any kind of safety? You need to know what to be thinking of so you don't, I wish I'd have done that. That's not the time to think of. The time to think of it is now. So any questions on safety? Good. We may actually have a fire alarm sometime this term. They say this every term. We haven't had one in years, but a fire drill, I mean. So be ready so we can do the right thing. That parking lot down there is where we go. Now, the last time we had one, they actually told us to go out that door. I said, no, you don't practice wrong behavior. You practice right behavior. Then we can gather and have a debriefing. But you don't have people do the wrong thing. Because once you have a real one, they're going to tend to do what you just did, not what you were told to do. So I I didn't get in trouble, but I think I raised enough stink that they decided to change things a little bit. Okay. Any questions on anything we've talked about so far? Now, we've been going at it more than an hour and a half now. Do we need a break before we actually start physical science? Do or not? Okay. Let's try to keep it less than 5 minutes, okay? Get up, move around. I've been moving around. That's why I like to teach. I don't have to sit in one place all the time. So get up, move around, get you something,